what people do when they have a paradigm or a set of doctrines, a statement of faith, a set of beliefs, okay, they are they are biased. They have cognition bias, confirmation bias. And when they go looking through scripture, they're basically looking for confirmation of what they already believe. And when you're doing that, it causes things to be overlooked. It causes you to foreground certain things and background other things in a way that is profane. In other words, it's disoriented. It's not in alignment with what the author is trying to tell you. That's when we say profane and vain babblings in scripture, it's when somebody profane, you think of profanity. It's not somebody cussing. Those are vulgarities. The profanity is something that disrupts proper orientation. It's something that disrupts the sacred. The sacred is called the sacred because we recognize that it can provide proper orientation. Something that disrupts proper orientation is profane. Okay? When someone approaches scripture and they're ideologically possessed, in other words, they already have all their beliefs figured out and they are settled on them and they can align them all in succinct, disambiguated propositional statements, they are going to cherry pick scripture. They're going to foreground the wrong things. They're going to see the wrong things as relevant, and they're going to twist some things, and they're going to proceed to use scripture to continue to propagate profane and vain babblings, useless babblings. They're going to say a bunch of things that sounds like a lot of data, sounds smart, sound like they know things. But really all they've done is they have all these slots in their belief system and they're filing scripture into it rather than approaching scripture with an open-ended mind to see what it says. Now, the reason narrative is a great equalizer is because it very easily contradicts what people believe, what people's belief systems say, okay? And one of the things we're trying to do on this channel is follow the kind of Christianity that is meta, above and beyond any of Christianity's belief systems, okay? So we recognize propositions are necessary things. When we start talking about the four kinds of knowing, people think we're against propositions. We're not against propositions any more than we are against money, okay? You're just recognizing that propositions are the currency of real things. Just like I can't, here's a mouse, okay? I can't take the money, say this mouse costs $100, okay? I can't take $100 bill and use it to control my computer. I have to use this. So if I choose, the $100 bill can point to this thing which has a purpose and a use, and a very specific thing that I can do with it. And I can control my computer with it. But I can't control my computer with $100, even though to some degree those items could be fungible. You could exchange $100 for the mouse, but the $100 is not the mouse, okay? But you can use the $100 to get there. Words are that way. They are the currency of knowing, okay? Everything that we know, that we really know, is the propositions, the words that we use, like cats are mammals, those are words that point to things that we know. Now, I have a cat somewhere in this house. If I were to pick up that cat, that would be the cat. And the way it feels and interacts and meows and tries to bite and scratch, that's the cat, okay? And the fact that I have a proposition for it is a very huge reduction to all the things that the cat is. So propositions they're both currency and they are data compression, okay? So there's really no way you can, just with a cat, there's no way I can give you a bunch of propositional statements about what a cat is that actually adds up to everything that the cat is. I would be giving you propositions all day long. Think about every little hair follicle and then the dander and the way it comes off and the teeth and the description of them and the chemical components of them and the little sharp things on the tongues and whether or not the cat has fleas. There's the reproductive system. There's so many different things that you could say about a cat, but it's a lot easier if I combine all that into the data compression of the three-letter word cat, okay? So cat points at all of that, but it is not all of that. All of that is all of that, whether I label it or not. Okay? Labeling it can help me adjust. It can help me capture in my mind if everyone else that I'm dealing with also understands what I'm talking about when I talk about a cat. And when I say cat, I'm not talking about any specific cat. Like my cat is very shy and does not like to come out when new people are around. I saw a cat today. I went to somebody's house to watch a football game, and I'm pre-recording this. And and they had a cat that wanted to jump up on my chest right when I got there. That's a different kind of cat. It's so the word cat can account for all those different kinds of things, and maybe even the big cats like lions and cheetahs and things like that. So we need to understand that, and so we can't get too dogmatic. You don't want to be requiring that people think certain things based on certain propositions. And so when these churches, when we have these sets of dogmas and doctrines, and we require that people align themselves to them, we're asking people to align themselves to an unmodifiable set of knowledge compression, rather than use those maybe as a focal point to explore other things and be willing to change and update them when we find out that they're wrong. Kind of like a map, okay? Your belief system is kind of like a map. Your map definitely is false in the sense that it is not the real terrain, but it has a depiction of the real terrain that is close enough at scale that it is useful to you, okay? So something can be useful and false because there's some kind of correlation there. And as long as you know the limits of that correlation, you don't get too carried away thinking that the map is the terrain, because that would be a mistake. Then when the terrain changes, say they build a new road, now you need to update the map. Problem with Christians, we're not very good at updating our maps. We have all these belief systems. I was just talking to somebody on the phone a few minutes ago. They were talking about the Baptist faith and message and how they keep, they have these different renderings of the Baptist faith and message, and everybody just goes along with that. And like, once you've updated it so many times, why do you require adherence to it? You see that? You're going to require adherence to something that you know is wrong enough that it needs to be updated. Why even have one? Why even have one? I know you guys got answers. Because it protects people and I know, and it doesn't.